Good morning. This morning, my firm filed a lawsuit in federal district court on behalf of Newark Mayor Ras Baraka against Alina Habba, the interim United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey, and Ricky Patel, the head of investigations for the Department of Homeland Security, individually. The complaint charges that Habba and Patel, acting outside their authority as government officials, violated Mayor Baraka's constitutional rights by falsely arresting him and maliciously prosecuting him for events that took place at Delaney Hall in Newark on May 9, 2025. The charges were so unsubstantiated they were dismissed 13 days later. We also charge Habba with defamation. Before the mayor had even been transferred off the property at Delaney Hall or charged, she started tweeting from her personal X account, Elon Musk's X, that the mayor had committed a crime, which is defamation per se. She said he willingly chose to disregard the law, which is false. And later that night, she went on Fox and again made false statements. Habba said in her tweet, "No one is above the law." I don't agree with Alina Habba about much, but I agree with that. And today she's finding out that even she is not above the law. Even this morning, Ms. Habba was tweeting that she heard that the mayor was going to sue the feds. Well, that's false. We're suing her and Ricky Patel. She also had the audacity, though, to give the mayor advice about crime fighting. During Mayor Baraka's term, violent crime has dropped 61% in Newark. He doesn't need advice from the lawyer for convicted felon Donald Trump. We don't have to guess about what Alina Habba's motivations were in wrongfully instigating and authorizing the arrest and prosecution of Mayor Baraka. She said only 6 weeks earlier that as the U.S. Attorney, she hoped to turn New Jersey red. Political prosecutions are for fascist countries, not the United States of America. Mayor Baraka was a target because he has stood up for the constitutional and human rights of all people, including immigrants. At a time when judges are being arrested, students with valid visas are being kidnapped on the streets because of what they say or write, and an aide in New York Congressman Nadler's office is handcuffed in his private office in New York, it's really important for all of us to stand up for democracy. Mayor Baraka files this lawsuit not just to vindicate himself, but for all of us, for our freedom, for our constitutional rights.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm standing here today for another reason other than what I was out here for the other time. I just want to say this is not about revenge or not about me going after individuals because I think they've wronged me specifically. Ultimately, I think this is about them taking accountability for what has happened to me. What went on in the newspapers and the press. People saying that I went down there and got arrested on purpose. All these kinds of things. I think this kind of defamation is out of line, and I think they should respond. They told us the case was dropped on social media. Didn't go to the court and do it in a professional way. I didn't get an apology, a letter, or anything from anybody saying that what happened was incorrect, was wrong, and that we want to move forward. So it is, in my mind, somebody should be responsible for what happens here. And I think that obviously Alina Habba, the U.S. Attorney, and I'm going to give her a credence because she is the U.S. Attorney, and Special Agent in charge, Ricky Patel, acted outside of what they're supposed to be doing, but they also are representatives of this government. And because they're representatives of this government, the government too should be responsible for their behavior. And I think that is important for me, important for my family, important for my children, important for people who are here in the city of Newark, who saw what was going on, and people around the country who saw what was going on at the same time. I think that they should be held responsible for those things. That's all I really have to say, and prayerfully they understand that.
What do you think, Mayor, is malicious about the arrest?
Well, I think that in any place when there is a so-called action or an issue such as the one we had. So, for example, in Newark, if we had something of this low magnitude, somebody would get a summons, right? They easily left and got a summons to arrest me, to handcuff me, to drag me away, to take my fingerprints and a picture for a Class C and mugshots for a Class C misdemeanor is egregious and malicious. For me to appear in a hearing, and after the hearing, for the U.S. Marshals to rush in and take me in the basement and take my picture and fingerprints again is egregious and malicious in my mind. It's embarrassing, it's humiliating for them to do that, and I think it's completely unnecessary to do that, completely unnecessary.
You've addressed the timing of this lawsuit. Obviously, early voting started an hour and a half ago in New Jersey. You're running for governor. The timing is what?
Well, I think the timing is based on the fact that we want to put this case before the court before it's too late, right? We want to do this immediately, and we want them to be held responsible for it immediately. I don't think this stuff will be resolved by the time the election is over with. So I think we'll still be in the middle of this thing. So, hopefully we can get it resolved.
Sarah Wallace.
In the lawsuit, it states that the U.S. attorney further threatened with false charges. Could you describe and document what those are?
Oh, we could do that. I think that would happen in court. It would come up. Yeah.
Just describe a little bit about how you further threatened.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that they threatened me with charging me with resisting arrest, with doing all these other things. I mean, the same thing that they're doing to the congresswoman, obviously, and all of that is false. And if you see the video, it's false. What happened? I think the judge pointed it out in the dismissal hearing, was that they arrested me before they did an investigation. And when they did an investigation, they saw that the arrest was unlawful and shouldn't have happened. And so they had to dismiss it. There was no resisting in there. There's nothing in the video that showed resisting. I did not force my way into the property. I did not force my way out of the property. I was let in, I walked in, I walked out the same way I walked in, right? So nobody dragged me, pushed me, forced me to do anything. I did everything on my own volition.
Was that the only further charge that she threatened you with?
Yes, as far as I know.
Mayor, what was the reason to charge only Habba and Patel personally and not the Trump administration or generally?
Well, I think I'm let the lawyer talk about that.
We are you have to file a Federal Tort Claims Act to sue the federal government, and you have to wait 6 months before you can sue them. We are filing a Federal Tort Claims Act against the administration.
So you are planning to sue the administration as well?
Yes, yes.
Mayor Crocker, I wanted to ask, this lawsuit also come out of the fact that the Trump administration has been putting other lawsuits in front of you as well,
Yes.
like the city, and as well as Hoboken and others.
Yeah.
And could you just give is there an update on that?
No, it's not no update. We are organizing our resources, taxpayers' dollars to fight, the administration around something that I think is frivolous in the first place. This idea of us stopping them from doing their job is just not true. It's just false. It is just a political ploy. No one's stopping the federal government from arresting people. We've never done that. We've never stopped them or presented an obstacle to them from doing what they think that they should be doing. What we have done is spoken out against it. We're going to continue to do that. Whatever is in the confines of the law here locally, we're going to execute to make sure that people know that we're opposed to what's going on.
And then can I just follow up? What happened after these charges were dropped, it sounded like you guys were trying to, I don't know what the right word would be, like some kind of approach on some kind of, I don't know, sounds like getting along, but at least because based on her words, hey, I wanted to invite the mayor to come with me to Lady Hall, was
No, that's not a lie. That's true. She did invite me, and I accept that. I'm not opposed to going on a tour with her to Delaney Hall, but that's not what we went down there. We didn't go down there to go on a tour of Delaney Hall. It's not Disney World. We went down there to get them to follow the law, to get them to do the inspections, to apply for a certificate of occupancy, which they are, by the way, looking like they're getting ready to do. So we want them to do that. GEO, which has nothing to do really with the U.S. government or with the U.S. attorney. It's a separate private entity. It looks like they're trying to follow the law. We'll see. But ultimately, if she wants to give me a tour, I'm down for the tour if that's what she wants to do.
Mayor, why is it important for you personally to see this process through?
One, because I think that, a lot of times people do things to us and they just walk away, and it's okay. Like, it's a problem for me to say I want somebody to do something. I want somebody to apologize, write a letter, say this was wrong, come out and say we shouldn't have done this, right? That never happens. These people execute this extra legal stuff on you. You have to deal with it. You're explaining it to people until you're blue in the face. You're on every news media channel telling people you didn't go down there to protest. I didn't go down there. I didn't kick my way in. I didn't knock anybody down. I didn't slam any ICE agents. I didn't barge my way in. I didn't barge my way out. I have to explain this to people, and they know this is not true. And they saw this video, and they should explain it to people, not me. They should tell people that this did not happen, and they had no business arresting me. I'm okay with that.
Mayor, if you win this suit, what happens? Are you seeking damages or to sponge the record?
That remains to be seen. The damages, I don't know if Alina, Habba, and Ricky Patel have enough resources to pay me for the damages they've caused me. At the end of the day, they should at least apologize, right? They should at least write a letter and apologize to me. They should say and apologize to the people of this city, right? What we should have been doing when she first came here, and I asked her to do it, is meet with us locally, meet with me, meet with the local officials here, figure out how we could do what we've been doing before she got here. When we had a former U.S. attorney who was a Democrat, and a former U.S. attorney before him who was a Republican, and a former U.S. attorney before him who was a Democrat, that we all worked with, all the way down the line. And we did tremendous work, and still are, in the city of Newark, reducing violence and crime, taking guns off the street from the ATF to the DEA, to the FBI, to the DOJ. I have nothing but super respect for these agencies who've been working with us tremendously. Some of our guys are in these agencies who've been working with us to make our city and our families safer. That's 100% factual. And I told her that through a video and through friends. Like, look, she's coming here saying Newark is MS-13, which is not true. Newark has a problem. Newark is this. Newark is that. Just the talking points that you get from the MAGA world to come in here and threaten the governor, threaten the U.S. attorney, threaten the city of Newark, as opposed to sitting down with the people here and saying we want to continue the progress that we've been witnessing in this city. I'm down to do that. I didn't have any problem with any of the U.S. attorneys that sat here before her, and Republican or Democrat, for that matter.
Regarding the certificate of occupancy, if that is filed and the proper permits are met, would you drop that initial lawsuit you had against GEO?
We would have no choice. We wouldn't have any choice. I mean, that's the whole thing. The courts decide that, not individuals. ICE doesn't decide that. The U.S. attorney doesn't decide that. A judge does. In America, if we have a dispute, a private dispute, if we go to court, a court solves that. GEO has the right to say they don't agree with the city. We have a right to say we don't agree with them, and we solve it in court. We don't get in the street and do 10 paces, turn around, and shoot at one another. That's not what we do here, right? Obviously, we go to a court, and the judge makes these decisions. That's all we wanted, not for them to undermine us by beginning to put people into a facility while we were in court.
Senator Brockett, do you see that the Trump administration or the officials or the president, I guess, soon trying to file other lawsuits?
I don't know. They're suing us now for being a sanctuary city with a bunch of cities in New Jersey. And the interesting thing is they're suing us and we did nothing. And we sue them and there's a hoopla like, oh, what are you doing? Well, you arrested me for nothing. I mean, you interfered with my ability of doing my work. I didn't interfere with your ability to do your work. Nobody's stopping you from kidnapping people off the street. from running into fish markets, grabbing people's licenses and IDs, or running into the immigration center, grabbing people who just got married and throwing them in the detention center, or people in traffic stops. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. You're continuing to do it, right? You're doing it and violating local laws at the same time. Nobody's suing you for that. We just want you to stop doing it. What I'm saying is that you at least owe me some deference, some respect, and the people of the city some deference and some respect to say that what you did was wrong.
Mayor, this is just the first couple of months of Trump's 4-year-long administration. How do you see this like progressing in a productive way that you can have a good relationship with the Trump administration, or do you think that this is kind of the beginning of being a target for 4 years?
Well, we're gonna pray on that. I honestly, and do not want this to be an issue where we're going back and forth. But honestly, the things that he has done and the stuff that he is supporting and the things that are taken away is going to put us at odds. It's going to put us at odds. I mean, it would be dishonest for me to say that we're not going to be at odds because you cut Medicare, Medicaid. That we're not going to be at odds because of Social Security, because of all of the things that are happening, attacking DEI, closing the Job Corps, which a lot of our residents and kids are part of. All of that stuff is very real to us. I mean, cutting Medicaid is going to affect people's families, SNAP benefits. It's going to affect children. I have to be opposed to that. So it's not about silliness. It's about real stuff that we're against. I'm not opposed to Trump because I don't like his haircut. I'm opposed to him because of the very real things that are going on that are affecting the families in my community. And until that changes, opposition remains.
This is a question for Ms. Smith. Does this lawsuit now enable you to subpoena phone records, for example, of Mr. Patel or of Alina Habba and whomever he might have been talking with?
Absolutely. Yes.
And can you think
It
of
does.
any similar situation where a U.S. attorney has been sued personally for malicious prosecution?
I have not seen any U.S. attorneys sued for malicious prosecution. State district attorneys have been sued for malicious prosecution. But I'm unaware of a U.S. attorney ever entering office on the first day saying, I'm going to turn the state red. I'm going to promote Republicans. It's unheard of, and the judge in this case pointed it out. It's not a political job. You're not in there to promote the policies of your boss. You're there to do justice, which is exactly what Judge Espinosa pointed. Your client is justice, not political spectacles where you wrongfully arrest the mayor of New Jersey's largest city.
Smith, sorry, just one clarification. It's already been filed, right?
Yes, this lawsuit has been filed. It's available online, and we have copies here for anybody who wants a hard copy.
When do they have to respond by?
I'm sorry?
When do they have to respond by?
That's a good. We haven't served them yet, so they have like 45 days after we serve them.
Tony,
Mayor, you see what you're having to tackle on the local level as mayor. Are you ready to face those challenges as you run for governor?
I'm still praying on it. Yes, I am. I mean, ultimately, it's unfortunate that we have to face any challenges like this. Obviously, people have the right to disagree. Whatever their policies are, we are opposed to those policies, and we want to do something different. We want to prove that what we believe actually works for families in our community and our state. And we have a right to progress those and execute those without fear of being targeted because of that, fear of being arrested or come up with trumped up charges and prosecution because we believe something else, or because we want to implement something other than that, or we think Medicaid shouldn't be cut, that should be expanded, that we should give millionaires tax breaks, that money should be used for families. You have a right to believe other than me and push what you want to push, and I have the right to believe something different, and I shouldn't be targeted simply because of that.
Do you think these legal actions distract from the other messages of your campaign?
Yeah, I think it does. I think absolutely. I think all of this legal stuff is a complete distraction. I think he's a distraction. I think all of this stuff is designed to be a distraction. But I also think that us not responding is consent. Our silence is consent. If we continue to allow these people to do these things and get away with it, right, then they're going to continue to do them over and over and over again. That's what's going to happen. I can't allow them to do this, and then 2 years, 3 years later, they do it again, and I'm sitting there wishing I would have said something to them the first time they did this. Because if you don't stop a bully at first, they begin to continue to bully you, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and threatening you and giving you advice. Oh, you better not do this, or I'm going to do that, or you better not do this, or this is going to happen. This is not how we talk to each other. This is not how we communicate with each other. Look, I don't agree with some of the law enforcement folks and some of the other district attorneys, or excuse me, other U.S. attorneys that was here and the prosecutors that were in there, but it never stopped us, and we don't agree politically on everything. It doesn't stop us from working together to execute the law, to making sure we make people's communities safe. That's why we get together. That's why we meet in this space, to make our city and our community safe. We're not in there debating who ran for president. Like when they call the DOJ, when they call us and say we need help, we don't ask them, well, who did you support for president? What's your idea on immigration? What do you think about Medicaid? We say, where do you need help? And we show up. Usually, that's what happens most of the time. If there's issues, we partner to resolve those issues. We don't start the conversation with, oh, I'm going to make the state red. That's ridiculous. It's not your job.
Dave Rock, you were talking earlier about the lawsuit that the Department of Justice filed against New York and several other cities. Do you have a timeline or any idea when you're going to file it? City or filing?
I don't. We have a certain amount of time to respond, right? And we're going to do that. We're organizing our resources and our folks now to be able to do that, partnering with the other cities as well. We want to partner with the other municipalities that are involved in this and challenge this together. This is not just a Newark issue. It is obviously Newark, Hoboken, Jersey City, right? All Patterson, and Montclair, and then the whole state really, to begin to push back against what's happening nationally. Because I don't think any of us did anything wrong, right? We didn't do anything wrong, but say we want to protect the residents of our community against unlawful arrests without due process.
That's your corporation counsel? Is that your corporation counsel representing as far as you know, or is it going to be like a Smith or?
Well, our corporation counsel and the city always works with outside counsel, so we'll probably work to get an outside counsel who are experts in this matter, who have defended other cities, because other cities have also had to defend themselves against exactly what we're going through here. So this is not new for them. This is why you have to stop them early, and we begin to do that. And as was stated, the courts have already pointed out that it's not our purview. We don't have to use our resources to kind of execute federal immigration laws. We don't have to do that, right? So we have not violated anything. We haven't violated any federal laws, any state laws, any municipal laws in the policies that we have. It is frivolous. It is a waste of taxpayers' dollars, right? Just like my arrest was frivolous and a waste of taxpayers' dollars.
Mr. Mayor,
Thank you.
Couple more? Two more.
you've done an unbelievable job at giving people power. People don't have a voice. My name is Daniel. I was the one, Daniel Reeses. I was the one who got the court order to investigate Senator Bob Menendez after 30 years of failed criminal justice. I believe that what you are doing is hero's work, and a hero should not have his back against the wall. And I think that it's very important that you continue on your mission. And all I want to do is just shake your hand, because I've never met a politician who has ever done anything close to what you have done. And the end result will only take time. I urge you, as a property owner and like commercial real estate developer in downtown Newark, I don't believe that people are thankful enough, vocal enough, to recognize the actual impact of history that your one movement has made. But it's not one movement. It is just a movement the nation saw. Could I shake your hand?
Yeah, I mean, when we finish.
Oh,
All right, last question, guys.
In the lawsuit, you mentioned the optics of having a black mayor arrested in handcuffs. Can you speak a little bit more to that?
Sure.
Either one.
As the mayor said, trespass is usually a summons. Here you have the mayor of Newark, the elected mayor of Newark. 20 masked, armed DHS agents have to forcibly arrest him in time for the evening news. And Habba, he was arrested at 2:44. He didn't leave Delaney Hall until 3:07. At 3:05, Habba was tweeting that he had violated the law and that he was willful in doing it. That sounds like it was a targeted spectacle. He could have been handed a ticket.
Can you respond to that, Mayor? Yeah, please.
Yeah, ultimately, I think, like, even on when I came out of that place, there was some social media posts who already attributed it to all kind of other things because they didn't know exactly what happened. And it's easy for people to believe that a mayor being arrested, especially a mayor that looks like me, has been arrested for something other than what just happened. And so there's a bunch of social media posts that alluded to that began to be pulled down after the reality of this thing hit everywhere. So I think that in and of itself is a problem, right? It's a problem that we deal with in this country. Is a problem that we have to deal with in cities like Newark, especially in an environment like we have in this state, that automatically I did something wrong. When people see me in cuffs, they automatically believe I did something wrong, I was guilty, that I deserve to be in jail, that they caught me finally, that all this other kind of stuff, foolishness. And the reality is, I didn't do anything. I went down there for a press conference. I was invited inside of a gate. People approached me. They were very loud and abusive to me. I left the gate. Finally, after they told me to get out, I walked out of the gate. They allowed me to walk out of the gate. I walked out of the gate. They made a decision to change their mind based on a call or whomever they got it from. And they ran out of the gate and arrested me there, right? And threw a couple of the witnesses or bystanders on the ground in the process, right? And, I was cuffed into a car, driven to a place that I didn't even know existed, right? Fingerprinted and handcuffed and questioned in an interrogation room with a video for a misdemeanor charge that the maximum is about $500 and 30 days in jail, maximum of any of this. This is completely over the top, totally over the top. That was done. If it was done to any of those people that are on the other side, they would have been 1,000 times more angry than I am, probably louder than I am, and a little wilder than I have been. I have been, like folks said, exceptionally calm in this situation because this is not new. The expectations of them doing this, I think that they would do this, right? And the reality is, it's not about me, and honestly, I'm not really angry at this point, right? And I'm not doing this for vengeance. Like, I'm not out to get Alina Habba. What the problem really is they don't have the right to violate people's individual rights, the democratic rights, the Constitution of this country. That's what we've been fighting for from the very beginning. They don't have the right to do that. They don't have the right to do it to me or to anybody else. And somebody has to be able to respond. The poor people were being pulled out of the immigration center after they got married and filling out the paperwork, or pulled over at a traffic stop, that are going through to get their green cards or whatever it is they need. They're not going to have the ability to have a press conference right here and talk to all of the press about how they were wrong and their rights were violated, the Constitution was pulled from under their feet. I have the ability to do that, so it's my responsibility to do it, even reluctantly.
I have a
Even reluctantly.
very good question, Brown.
Thank you.
If what happened to you?
Okay, guys, thanks very much. I want to add one thing about the crime reduction. When Mayor Baraka took over, there were 105 homicides. Last year, we had 37. And that's a pretty remarkable achievement.
Where can we find a copy of the lawsuit? We have copies here, and then